What's a really good bass plugin? I mean VST instrument.
Every plugin is a good plugin.
No, I mean for bass.
Every plugin is good for bass. Seriously, this is like really big misconception that you need something and that you need.
Yeah, I know. I can create my own from.
One of the best plugins is the most idiotic one in Logic. So if we new track software instrument, we have ESM. Here it is, one of the best bass plugins. And it's single oscillator, mono synthesizer, and I use it extensively. And for example, I know that Umek uses this all the time because it's so simple. It has how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 knobs plus few switches. And it makes great bass. Every synth is good synth. And nowadays it's too much options, and usually people search sound where there is no sound, and they have all the synths, all the banks, everything, and they don't know how to use a single simple synth like that. So you can create great bass sounds out of any VST or audio unit plugin. It just depends on the style. But if there is a specific genre-specific sounds, there are certain synths that can do it. For example, Native Instruments Massive is used extensively in electro house and in minimal, basically everywhere where you need a bass lead type of synth. But I personally don't use it, it's too complicated. It takes too much time.
I like it, but for dubstep it's usually pretty good.
For dubstep also. Yeah. Massive is one of the best synths, but I will have results faster with those internal Logic synths. I basically don't have much synths. I have internal Logic stuff, which is this, and then I have Native Instruments Complete and Vanguard. That's it. And this is all I need, plus the hardware that I have, but I usually create everything with soft synths and then replace the sounds with hardware if needed. Sometimes I don't replace the sounds because you cannot create the same sounds with the hardware synths. It's just whichever, seriously. Massive is, I think, one of the best, and then you have a shitload of stuff in the reactor, Native Instruments. You have all sorts of simulations, and you can use whatever. Same story with drums. If you have better, you have more than enough. And people are constantly searching for the magic kick, for the magic snare. And I mean, I can give you, I have kicks from Umek, I can keep kicks from Kaziani, I have kicks from, I don't know who else, famous producers, but I can give them to you and you will be not able to make them sound as they are sounding in the actual productions. Same story, I'm sure that many of you sampled kicks from other people's records, and you know this record kicks ass in the club, and now I will sample the kick, and it will work the same. It never works the same. Believe me, I tried it a million times and I never managed to create it. You always have to create your own sounds, and you have to select sounds, because nowadays, same story as we said before with music. People tend to have like 50 gigabytes, 100 gigabytes of sounds. When will you use 100 gigabytes of sounds? It is just distracting you and taking away time when you want to make music. And then you make music like that and you go, no, no. This one is good, and then after half an hour, no, it's not good. To preset. Same story with synths. That's why I like this synth. I never used a preset on that synth because I don't need it. It's that simple. I need a bass, okay, and I create a sound that fits the arrangement. And if you have sample banks, take time. 1 day, 2 days, it takes time. And sit and listen to every single sample. And the ones you at least you think that are useful and you like, copy to another folder, copy to another folder, copy to another folder. It is boring. After 4 hours, you are wasted if you are selecting sample like this. But you will have rough selection. After a week, go and filter this rough selection. And maybe after a week, filter that rough selection. At the end, you will have 1 octave of kicks, 1 octave of snares, 1 octave of claps, 1 octave of hi-hats, and another bank, 1 octave of congas, fly effects, blah, blah, blah. And then you can start making music. You selected the sounds you like, and you won't be going to the actual sample banks again. You won't be wasting time. And after a month, repeat the procedure. Go to the same samples, and you will select different ones. And some of them will be the same, but you will know because you already used them, and create new banks for battery, for contact, for whatever you use, which kind of sampler. And at the end, you will have your own personal selection of sounds. And when you have something, you can delete all those gigabytes of sounds because they are just wasting hard disk space and your time. Same story with synths. Find the synths that you really, really like and master it. You don't need to have all the synths on the market. I mean, sometimes people mix in my studio and they bring their own computer. And sometimes I mix from other people's computers. And when I go to plug-in window, they have everything available. And then I open something and they say, wow, where did you find that? I didn't know I have it on. Because they installed all the plugins which are free on their computer, but you don't need that. I personally, I have very limited setup of plugins. I have internal Logic plugins which are more than enough for any production. You can do everything just with that. And then I have Antares voice processing, but they sponsor me, so I didn't buy it. I have Brainworks. Okay, but it's original. I have original license on iLog. Then I have Brainworks. All plugins besides BX Digital is free, but I got a VIP version, so it was really cheap.
And do you get from the Brainworks also for free the one that you cleaned?
Yeah, this is the one. This is my main mastering EQ.
Yeah, I discovered it this year through Lucas, and it's my favorite.
Yeah, this is the main and one of the best, and it's not that expensive, even though you buy original.
How much is it?
250 or 350, okay. I don't know. You see, it's a lot of money, but if you think it's a tool, and if you think that analog counterpart would cost 4,000, this is really not that much. Plus that if you have all plugins original, you will have really, really stable system, especially on Mac, so you can work and not save for the whole day. Nothing will crash. I mean, it will crash sometimes, of course, but I mean, I have everything on my computer's internet, parallels, blah, 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 and it works. Then I have AOSIS de-esser, which is used for de-essing, Elemental Audio Systems, which was then Roger Nichols Digital, also original. Elysia, this one is free, it's very good filter. Expert Slippers, this is for controlling old synths. Flux, this is free. Isotope, I use Limiter, everything else is not good in my opinion, but Limiter gets used sometimes on some masters. I have complete bundle from PSP, Slate Digital mastering processor, which I use only for metering because it distorts too much, but I bought it because I liked it at the beginning, then I figured out that it's not that good. And Sound Toys complete bundle, and that's it. I don't need anything else. This is all I need. And in plugins, it's a lot of money, but it's not that much if you consider the power of those plugins.
From which you think I can get the best natural drum sound from which VST plugin, for example?
It's not, it doesn't have anything to do with the plugin.
You
need good samples. You need good samples. That's, I mean, every sampler we do. Basically, with every workstation you are working, besides Pro Tools, you are working with 32-bit floating point precision. So you want to get 24-bit samples if possible, and then you just tweak them. The most important part is tuning of samples, not the actual sound. But this is another topic entirely. I mean, we will organize, I mean, SAI will organize another workshop this year, which won't be free, but it will be much more, how to put it, more directed towards actual production tricks, especially drum programming and programming in general, because this is the foundation of the track, and majority of people skip this step and then they try to fix it in the mix. It just doesn't work. You have to select sounds from the beginning, and the selection of sounds has to be right so the track will function at the end. And this, as I said before, filtering your sound banks is the first step, that you have the sounds that you like, that you fit your style. I mean, if you follow one producer, you will notice that he's using pretty much the same kick, the same snare, the same hi-hats on majority of his production in a certain time period. And then after a certain time period, he will change a sound and he will use different sounds, but they will still resemble the previous ones. So everybody has to build its own style sound-wise, and you do it by selection of sounds. And the tools are too powerful. I mean, this is, if somebody would tell me 10 years ago that I can carry that much of power in a laptop around, I wouldn't believe it. And it's total democracy. I mean, you have a MacBook, you have the same power as I have. If you have Logic, no difference. I mean, Series D has Logic. And I don't know, David Guetta producers have Logic. Lady Gaga producer has Logic. And Lady Gaga is completely done in Logic. I don't think he used on the first album any, besides Vanguard, any third-party plugins, and mixed in Logic. So the tools, democracy is complete. I mean, it's total democracy regarding the tools. The only difference is in know-how and in will and time invested in the actual production. And of course, what kind of monitoring environment you have, because important thing is that you hear what you do. If you don't have money for the speakers, or you can't have them in your home, buy good headphones and a good headphone amplifier and learn those headphones. And you can have cheap speakers for, I don't know, 300, 400 euros, and this is all you need. So for 1,000 euros, you can buy nowadays a complete studio with which you can make full productions. And back in the days, you couldn't buy a shitty multi-effect unit for that money. So it's really, really powerful, and everybody can do anything. Good enough. Have a nice weekend.